Funding for this program is provided by Annenberg CPD to advance excellent teaching.
What makes a premature infant who is massaged regularly develop faster than one who is rarely touched?
It's up to 1,470 grams today, so she's really...
How can this tropical fish actually change its size and color when it wins or loses territory? And what makes this dominant baboon healthier than its lower-ranking cousins? The responsive brain, this time on Discovering Psychology. The brain is the organ of life, the inner universe of intelligence, passion, pain, and creativity. And by understanding how it functions, we can better understand the basic mechanisms that underlie human and animal behavior. But the relationship between brain and behavior is reciprocal. The brain controls behavior, but behavior also feeds back information to influence the brain. In this sense, we can talk about the responsive brain as well as the behaving brain. Because it's designed to be modified by the behaviors it has caused and by environmental stimulation, the brain is constantly open to change. It can alter its own functioning and even its structure as it learns more, as it becomes more knowledgeable and sophisticated about the world around it. This capacity for internal modification makes the brain one of the most dynamic systems on the planet. To understand how this two-way process of brain and behavior really works, let's use touch as an example. Touch is the silent language by which people communicate everything, from friendship and love to their need to control others. This personal contact is governed by unspoken cultural rules and regulations. In our culture, men and women respond to being touched in different ways. For instance, women are more likely to touch, embrace, and kiss friends and family, while men typically limit touch to a handshake. According to one study, when women were gently touched by a nurse before an operation, they reacted positively, with lower blood pressure and reduced anxiety. The men, on the other hand, got upset by the same kind of touch. Their blood pressure went up and their anxiety increased. Researchers have also found that, regardless of gender, those who are quite comfortable with touching others are more cheerful, less conforming, and less suspicious of other people's motives, while those uncomfortable with touching others tend to have lower self-esteem and are generally more socially withdrawn. The consequences of being touch-deprived are extremely significant, not only for our sense of security and emotional well-being, but also for our physical health. And this is where the brain comes in. For in between the act of touching or being touched and its positive consequences is the brain, which apparently creates a need for touch. And the most critical need begins at the beginning, at birth. The need for a mother's touch is such that both humans and animals thrive when they get it and suffer badly when they don't. When premature infants are placed in intensive care units, which provide every possible life support system, they still lack one thing: human touch. What difference would it make if some of the infants were given daily touch sessions while they remained inside their incubators? The question was asked by psychologist Tiffany Field of Miami University. 20 premature infants were randomly selected to receive periodic massages, while 20 others got the usual hospital treatment without massages. In all other respects, the care they received was identical.
Premature babies who were massaged for 45 minutes a day for 10 days before they were discharged gained weight, 47% more weight than the babies who did not get massaged. They were more active, they were more alert. These babies, when we see them at 8 months, are still showing a weight advantage. And at that time, they're showing better cognitive development and better motor development.
Not only do the babies fare better, but so does society. Sending premature infants home early could save millions of dollars in hospital costs each year.
1,470 grams.
Oh, good.
Today, so she's
She'll be going home soon.
really gaining a lot of weight.
I think the temperature and humidity feel about...
At the same time, Saul Schanberg of Duke University, Field's collaborator, led another research team. Working with infant rats, Schanberg showed how a mother's touch comes to have real biological value to her offspring.
A mother's touch, we know now, is absolutely necessary to maintain normal growth and development of the baby rats. And what we found was that when rat babies were removed from the mother for even a short period of time, this enzyme, very important for growth and development, called ornithine decarboxylase, or ODC as we call it, went way down. So all of a sudden we were faced with a situation trying to understand how it was that a short-term separation from the mother could have such dramatic effects throughout the body on the actual process of growth. We have found that the deprivation effects that we see to be reversed by only two ways. One, returning it to the mother, who then licks the pups and goes through the process, or by a technician using a little paintbrush and stroking the pups with a certain frequency and strength. That is the pattern touch that we have discovered.
Researcher Cindy Kuhn